What's up, everybody? We seem to have had an escalation in India and Pakistan. We've been following this story quite extensively for the past week. We've put quite a few videos out about it. Quite a lot more than most Western channels are doing. And I have a feeling I know why it doesn't get covered as much, which I will explain at the end of the video if you wanna see why I think that is. In fact, I've got good evidence as to why that is. But we're actually going to get into what has happened in the past 24 hours. There has been a massive escalation there's been quite profound, and we're going to talk about it. Before we get started, though, I am going to talk about the channel sponsor, Chug. If you haven't got yourself one of these incredible drinking vessels, if you want to look like an absolute legend while you're drinking your drink, get yourself one of these, handmade here in the UK by a small business. You can get 10% off, link down below, and they also ship to America, which a lot of people ask me about. Sponsors out the way. Let's get into this. There's been a big update. There has been a large update. I've got a short video here by ITV News. So for those of you who don't live in the UK, you're probably like, who the hell's ITV News? They're kind of like BBC and Sky and CNN and Fox. They're just a news organization. They're also a TV channel here in the UK. They make TV shows and stuff like that as well. I get it. Every time I show any form of news outlet on this channel, we have to remember there's biases, right? Every time I show them, whether it's BBC or Sky or any of the American ones, it's always like, oh, why are you showing that? Why are you showing that one? It's biased. And I get it. But at the same time, you're not going to find a news outlet that's not biased. That's just the reality of all this. But what is good is I've watched quite a lot of content on what's happened over the past 24 hours. And we're going to watch the first minute of this video or so, because I think it gives a good rundown of what's happened. But just to summarize it, India has done precision strikes in Pakistan and Kashmir, occupied Pakistan, on what they are saying are specific locations where these militants are located. Let me pull this video up. We'll watch this video and we'll go over more stuff, what's been going on, okay?
Justice is served. The words of the Indian Army tonight as it launched what it's calling Operation Sindoor.
Operation Sindoor, it's not spelt like that in this video. It's spelled, where is it? I think it's S-I-N. I saw it on it. Yeah, S-I-N-D-O-O-R. And I'm wondering if anyone knows why it's called Operation Sindoor and what the relevance of that is. Sometimes these wordings can have quite big meanings behind them. So if anyone knows what that specific term means, then let me know.
This is one of 9 sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-controlled Kashmir that were hit.
9 sites.
Pakistan says a child is among the casualties.
Ugh.
India says it's destroyed what it calls militant infrastructure. Ahead of the strikes, Pakistan had vowed to meet fire with fire.
Yeah.
As the missiles flew, airline tracking apps showed planes diverting from the area, some flights being sent to Karachi.
I mean, rightly so. They're going to be diverted. That's not anything out of the unusual. So they're just, I think that little piece there is just filler of what they're saying.
For the past 2 weeks, tensions have simmered along what is one of the world's most dangerous borders. In India, there has been mounting fury at the murder of 26 of their fellow citizens.
That's absolutely heartbreaking. That's horrendous, isn't it? What happened that day is just absolutely devastating. We read the story of one of the individuals. I can't remember which one it was. It was on his honeymoon, man. Sheesh.
In a brazen attack by terrorists, India insists are backed by neighbouring Pakistan. The gunmen struck a tourist resort high in the mountainous region of Kashmir. The victims targeted, according to survivors, because they were Hindu. Calls for restraint seemed destined to fall on deaf ears.
Ugh.
Now is the time for...
So, yeah, this is just a guy from the UN saying everyone needs to chill the hell out, which I understand. It's just one of them, innit, where it's like, these militant organizations have been backed by Pakistan. That's what India's been saying through their intel. I also want to preface this by saying, yes, these news outlets have biases, but humans have biases as well. I absolutely love India. I love Indian culture. I love the religion of Hindu, like Santa Dharma. I'm a big reader of that. I've read the Bhagavad Gita and stuff like that. So there's probably some biases there to the Indian people. I want to put that out there just for everyone to kind of understand as well. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to look at this from a third party as a Brit or as an American and be like, what the hell's going on over there? Okay. It does seem that this has been quite a big escalation. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this live map up, right? We use this when we talk about Ukraine and Russia and all these other conflicts. We always pull this map up, and you can see the area where it's happened in the Pakistan-controlled Kashmir and in Pakistan. So you can see here's India down it. For this is mostly for people who aren't aware of the area, which is another big thing that I want to talk about. And this is the reason why I'm talking generalist. I know there's a lot of people from India that watch these videos. You're probably like, why are you telling me all this? This is so obvious. But there's a lot of people who don't know this stuff, okay? So this is the location we're looking at. India's down here, Pakistan's up here, and it's this area around here where it's all kicking off, okay? Just for people to be well aware. Okay, so we've got what I think is quite a decent summary here that's been put out by The Guardian that kind of goes over what the developments have been happening since in the past 24 hours, okay? So India has conducted what is described as precision strikes in neighboring Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. And they're saying 26 people have died and 46 have been injured. One of the unfortunate people who have died so happens to have also been a child, which is just absolutely heartbreaking. That's just... It's devastating to see that an unfortunate retaliation on what happened on that horrible night in Kashmir has resulted in a retaliation that has unfortunately killed a child, which is just horrendous. The Indian government said in a statement that 9 non-military targets have been hit in the strike in what is called Operation Sindoor. And I want to again ask if there's any meaning behind that specific name, if anyone can tell me that. But they were obviously targeting militant camps, which is the main point to say there. New Delhi said its actions have been focused, measured, and non-escalatory in nature. I've seen this a few times where they've said that they've really done the bare minimum as a retaliation. And it's not really retaliation. It's more of them being like, look, if we don't do something about this, there's going to be more attacks. And so they're obviously going and striking these places that they think have militants in, and they think that this militant operation has been coming from. I do want to say that I think, obviously a child's died, so there's been some sort of unfortunate happenings there. I do want to say, and I said this in one of the previous videos, the biggest thing that would have caused a de-escalation is if Pakistan helped get rid of these places. And this is a massive red flag when it comes to the popular idea that Pakistan are actually funding these militant organizations. Because Pakistan are not doing anything about them, it almost makes it look like that they are, as a byproduct, helping them. Does that make sense? And that's kind of worrying. Both countries also exchanged intense shelling and heavy gunfire across much of their de facto border in the Himalayan region of Kashmir. There's a few other things here about Pakistan's prime minister saying, you know, it's not very good and blah, blah, blah. They're going to do a retaliation. But what I do want to look at here, Pakistan says 5 Indian Air Force jets were shot down. Which when I first read that, I was like, am I reading that correct? 5. A claim was not confirmed by India. However, 4 local government sources in India, Kashmir, told Reuters that 3 fighter jets had crashed in separate areas of the region during the night. Whether it's 3, whether it's 5, these are fighter jets. This is not a nothing burger. That is massive. United Nations calling for restraint from both countries. This is a drastic, escalation considering both countries have nuclear power, which is terrifying. As you can see here, we're reading this summary, and we've got 2 updates that are happening. 2 updates, which is pretty insane. Okay, so we've got a new summary, which is basically going to say the same thing. 26 people have died, including a child. It's changed to several children now. Oh my god, several children have now died, and 46 injured. Well, that's much different. Pakistan are calling it an act of war now. So I'm reading this for the first time as this new updates come on. That's a big change. China called on India and Pakistan to prioritize peace and stability, remain calm and exercise restraint, and avoid actions that could further complicate the situation. Russia said it was concerned by the development, while Turkey urged common sense. The UK said it was ready to help both countries to de-escalate the situation. Kashmir has been disputed territory since the British partition. Oh my God, yeah. Britain needs to fucking stay out of this, if I'm honest with you. UK Foreign Secretary David Lemmy said Britain has close and unique relationships with both countries. I have made it clear that the counterparts, blah, blah, blah. Fights across the region have been disrupted. Okay, so my biggest takeaway from this new update is it's several children now, unfortunately, not just one that have died, which is heartbreaking. I understand that these locations probably were militant areas, which from these images we're going to get into in a minute. But it's still devastating to hear that children have lost their lives. That's not okay. Also, Pakistan calling it an act of war and claimed it shot down several Indian Air Force jets. The Office of the Prime Minister of Pakistan said the country's armed forces have been authorized to undertake corresponding actions. This was 5 minutes ago, so it's only going to get worse. This is a good image here, right here. Actually, let's make this image a little bit closer, a little bit bigger here. So what we've got here is we've got the line of control. This is more again for people who are not aware of the situation, right? This is the line of control right here. We've got this part that's looked after by India, this part that's looked after by Pakistan. Pakistan on the left here, India on the right here of the image, and you can see the major locations of what's going on here. So for those of you unaware, there's also the part here that's kind of monitored by China. So China have probably got quite a big set of eyes on what's going on right here. I do want to show these images, which I think was very, very important for India to show. I think this is a big step of integrity by India, because they're like, we're not just bombing, right? We're not just going in and just shooting anything, right? They are legitimately posting images of what they're saying are militant camps right here. And so I think that is a good indicator that they're trying to be as honest as they possibly can. These are apparently a lot of the camps. As you can see, obviously, some of them are actually in Pakistan, which are the ones that have probably been bombed. But a lot of them are right here in Kashmir-occupied, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, right? And look how close it is to the Indian border. These are militant camps that are causing disruption and taking Indian lives, and Pakistan are not doing anything about them. That is what's worrying. Pakistan are not doing anything about them, and that is what is scary here. So we're going to be following this very closely. We're going to be following it very closely. We're going to be looking at the map and making sure, if there's any new updates coming up on here every now and again. This is one of the best websites for like live updates on stuff. It gives all the references on the right-hand side. It is quite ad-filled. So if you don't like ads, just be aware. There's a lot of ads on this thing unless you pay for it, which I have no interest in doing. However, I want to quickly talk about why I think it's not talked about in the West as much, this, okay? I'm going to pull my face up because I can't show you the back end of YouTube. But what I am going to tell you is that when I cover something that's US or Ukraine or Western related, I I make a certain amount of money on it, right? When I make a video and I put it out, I make amount of money on it. Let's say for every, I don't know, 100,000 views, I might make a couple £100, right? Something like that. I'm just guesstimating here. However, when I upload a video like this, talking about India, the money is like a tenth of what other videos are. And so, unfortunately, I think a lot of media outlets have a prioritization over money than they do the news. I'm not doing that here on this channel. When a big escalation like this happens, I'm covering it because it's important and not many people are talking about it. Go and look on YouTube at how many people are covering this. It's not many. It's not many. And when you wonder why something like that's happening, you've got to follow the money. And I can see it directly on my channel. I don't care if it doesn't make me money. People need to know what's happening. People have to know what's going on because it is horrendous. These are two nuclear countries that are about to duke it out. They're about to duke it out unless things calm down. And so when I look at all the people I follow for military content and I see absolutely nobody covering this and I'm like, what is going on? And then I look at the back end of my YouTube and I see that it barely makes any money. I'm like, oh, that's why. That's why no one's covering it, because they want to keep the revenue up. I ain't playing them games. It's not happening. If something big in the military field is happening like this, I'm going to cover it because it needs to be said to the world. It needs to be said to the world. All right? I think that's me rant over there. And you might agree with me right now, but that's the rant. I'd love to know your thoughts. It's devastating. It's heartbreaking. We have another update. Updates are coming in quick. Updates are coming in very, very quick. Let me pull this up. We've got another update right here. The Pakistan Airport Authority has, according to Reuters, announced that all airports in Pakistan are fully functional and that Pakistan's national airspace is available and safe for civil aviation. Multiple airlines have cancelled or rerouted civilian flights in the wake of India's missile attack. Now, I'm not going to lie. If I was a civvy that had a flight planned to Pakistan or India, well, mostly Pakistan, in the next 48, 72 hours, I'd probably be cancelling it. That's the truth of it, especially if I'm with my family. So seeing that a lot of people are rerouting flights, I understand Pakistan's like, we really need the tourist revenue coming in still. We can't let that change. I wouldn't be flying out there. Two nuclear countries are about to duke it out. That's not my cup of tea. I'm telling you that right now. Right now. But again, we're going to end it with the biggest takeaway. India has unfortunately retaliated, which I say unfortunate, like they've got to do fucking something. They've got to do something. Pakistan are just letting these militant groups like grow and escalate and being like, oh, I don't know anything about them. And they're going to Indian civilians and killing them. Of course, India need to do something about it. Something's got to happen. Something's got to change or it will just keep happening. At the same time, we don't want people dying. We don't want freaking children getting caught up in it. God, I just feel like the world is going to shit. I'm going to go on another rant here, aren't I just feel like it. I feel like I'm seeing Russia and Ukraine duking it out. America's tearing itself apart. Civilians are divided on everything. Israel, Gaza kicking off like crazy. People unhappy here in Britain. Now it's two nuclear countries of India, Pakistan about to duke it out. China's still threatening to take Taiwan. It seems like every single day we wake up and there's more chaos and stress. More of it and more of it. And it's heartbreaking, especially when you're someone like me who's got two beautiful children. And all I want is for them to be able to grow up in a world where they can travel and meet different people with different backgrounds and different cultures and ideas so that they can grow as individuals and have beautiful families and enjoy the outdoors and be safe in their environment and get clean food and water. That's all I want. And we're seeing this shit on a daily basis. Daily. It's horrendous. Rant over. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them tonight. Because who knows what will happen tomorrow? Who knows? Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.